Hi. Fuck. Oh my god, boy. Go stairs. You're interrupting. Hi. I'm Alex. Some small corner of the internet might know me better as Arcade Island. Over the years, people have asked me quite a few times how I do it, how I make music. I just put out an album called Dreaming in the Void. I worked on it forever, and people seem to really like it. And I decided, as part of the rollout, that I would go through the songs and show you how I made them. And today, I'm starting with Leviathan. And Leviathan is sort of the single, if you will. And it's the first song I released for it. It's the song I made a music video for, and it's a very special song to me. It's actually the oldest song on the record. I wrote the demo for it probably close to 11 years ago, and you can hear that now. Besides sounding to me a little bit like ass, it's there. I mean, it's kind of all there. I didn't do the ending part, and the lyrics are all different and totally trash, and I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. I never really found a place for it in any of my other records or like to just release. But I always really liked the sound of the guitars in it, and I liked the melodies, and I thought it was kind of cool, kind of creepy vibe. And when I was putting this album together, I decided that this would be a good time for it to be brought to life. And so let's get into it. Let's take a look at this. This is the project section. I do everything in Studio One. I guess we'll start with this, the two violins. There's a main part. We're just kind of going into a bus over here. Yeah, it goes right here. And all I did was put some phaser on it and compressor and a little bit of delay. I had that kind of melody and originally on that fucked up Mario. Yeah, I just put some chords over top of it. I basically recorded all the guitars through my Fender Man amp with this pedal. This is the Boss MD2, the Mega Distortion. And yeah, this thing kind of rips. It's super like bottom heavy. A lot of like distortion pedals get rid of a lot of the low end, so they kind of sound tinny. I recorded everything twice. So I took the signal output from the guitar and I put it through a splitter. And so one signal was going to the amp, which I was recording with two SM57s. And the other half was recorded DI, so I took the signal and recorded it directly into the computer. And the cool thing about that is you can kind of get the best of both worlds. So like you get the character of the amplifier, which would just get all like the grittiness, and you get something that sounds like this. And then simultaneously the DI. And so you get and if you just raw. So you get like a lot of the low end and definition so you can kind of get like the chunks of hitting the guitar as well as like the body of it. When you blend that with like what you recorded through the amp, you get this humongous sound. And on top of that, I kind of stole this from Mike Shinoda. Maybe he stole it from somebody else. I don't know. A classic thing that you hear like on a song like Crawling. You know, they play these huge chords on the bottom. So Brad would be playing that. And then Mike play like a triad, or he'd play like I guess like a minor third. And then when you put them together, it just sounds huge. That was kind of always there from the beginning, and I just think that the title is so fitting, not just thematically, but also those guitars sound like some monster. How do you fake a person? So I don't know, I just love them. And then I threw all of that through a bus submix over here, literally called Big Guitars. Took out some of the lows and the mids there, and then put through a bus compressor, and then that's that. And I panned everything kind of leftish, rightish. I think the DIs are a little bit further left and right than the amp guitars. And then from a rhythm section, I am not a drummer. But yeah, I recorded it on that kit over there, off camera. Close mic'd everything, had 2 overhead mics. And man, drums are hard. They're hard to play. They're like the backbone of the song, and they keep time. And I'm not like a pro drummer by any means, but like hiring one's expensive, and I didn't do that. So I did do it all myself. I'm okay, not to sell myself short, but the second you press record anytime, and any musician can relate to this, the second you press record, no matter how many times you practice, suddenly you just suck. There's so many effects. There's so much in the rack for all of these. The kick, this is what it sounds like with effects. Without anything, it's literally. Yeah, same thing with the snare. A smack attack is a huge thing here. It's like a transient shaper. So, that first hit, that pop, the snap, like this really kind of like exaggerates it. Like without it. More. Gives it just a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, good God. Yeah, these drums are fucking chopped to hell. The drums come through a bus here. Right here. And all the drums on the record are parallel compressed, so like you'll notice like on the kick, the signal output goes directly to the drum bus, but also there is like there's a send here that goes to drum compressor, and that is me just squashing the shit out of these. And when you blend them, then bass, super simple. I DI'd everything. Maybe in the future we'll try to do what I did with the guitars and split it so I can get like a blending of signals. But I mean, I don't know, when you record based DI, I mean, it kind of does its job. It's the low end. It gives it energy. It gives it body. Yeah, and that's for the choruses. And then on the verses. I did not do those on DI. Like I did all of the distorted guitars for the album first, every song. And then I went back and I kind of just ditched the whole signal splitting thing. On the clean guitars, without like those big pedals and everything, you retain a lot more low end. And I recorded those again, stereo SM57s. And like, I really just did one pass on all of them. I really like the tone. I'm really proud of the tone of the guitars on this record. Like, I feel like I've been chasing this tone forever. And the reason I probably didn't make a heavier album like this in the past is I felt like my guitars sound like shit. There's a little bit of chorus on it. And I'm setting that to a reverb. Percussion in the verses is actually kind of funny. I don't like to do out of the box like drum machine stuff. So these are all things that I recorded. I wanted the vibe of the album to be kind of like tribal-esque, like sort of like wild. The snare on the percussion on the verses is literally pieces of 2x4 that I'm just smacking against each other. And I did that like 10, 12 times or something like that, layered them all on top of each other, sent them hard left and right, comped it out. That's what that is. And so my congas are actually me with my hands beating on a piece of plastic. So like it's like a Tupperware container that I'm just going. And then hi-hats and kicks, I guess I got lazy. Just midis. Sometimes it's like, don't complicate it. Let's go to the big money. Okay, we're going to the big money. We're going to the big dance. We're going to what everyone's here for. We're going to the vocals. In the choruses, this is like basic music production 101. This is what the primary lead sounds like.
How do you fake a person? Surely they'll know if I lie.
I try to avoid any like excessive pitch correction. When I first started making music, I really would just like put like auto tune on it at like 50%. So it's not like super obvious. You can tell. But I mean, I sang this album pretty raw. I try to preserve, especially in the lead vocal, as much of how it came across as possible before like adding anything to it. And, I did use Melodyne. Melodyne is great compared to like auto tune because you can pick and choose, right? Like if I have a good note or a note that I'm happy with, I just leave it. And if there's a couple notes here and there that just need adjusted, like you can just move it up and down. I don't want to do that. It's way more time consuming than just throwing auto tune on it, but I think it just yields a way smoother, way cleaner, way more natural result. And then I tripled these. So we got the main vocal here like at 0, and then we got slightly to the left, slightly to the right.
How do you fake a person? Surely they'll know if I lie.
Triple vocals, just make some huge, make some pop, and then we have harmonies. So there's kind of a 5 vocal stack.
How do you fake a person? Surely they'll know if I lie.
And then you put it all together, man, and you get this.
How do you fake a person? Surely they'll know if I lie.
And then like the call and response here, I do have auto pitch on these. Super light though, like at 4.4%. It's probably not even doing anything. I think it's just on there because I'm neurotic. I probably could turn these off and you wouldn't even know.
It always gets so old.
With like a single harmony underneath it in the middle. So it's kind of an interesting thing.
It always gets so old.
And then the verses.
A civilized design, true and kind, the soul defies darkness, a mantra for my kind.
And then I sent this to a bunch of delays and reverbs, really, just to like give it some space. Tons of delay on this.
The power of will, when only life and death remain.
And then underneath that, the big part here is my harmonies. And so I just stacked all these to Vox Oz. Creative. Woo! And then in the second pre-chorus, I introduce a little bit of like a swell here, and as this like holds, which is what these are. These are just like some more dissonant ones, just to like, I just kind of wanted to make it sound like, I don't know, like the Lion King or something, like, oh, like, but kind of spooky, like something primordial. I think like that was kind of that's what the vibe of the whole record is, not tribal, primordial. The outro, guitar-wise, we've got this guy. And so it just kind of all starts to build. That's just me doing bends. And it just sounds nasty, and I like it. I like it. And then there's like the synthesizer here, which is a Moog Sub 25. There's this Idiot Pilot song called Last Chance. In the build up to the final chorus, like they just like kind of chug on their guitars in time with like a snare fill. And it just sounds sick. And that's what I want to do here. So the guitars are just chunking. Yeah. I didn't even know, I forgot this was here. So like you can barely hear it. If you take it out, you can kind of tell it's not there. Or can you not? I don't know. It's the little things. And then, yeah, guitars. But that little like dissonance set, I don't know what the fuck you would call it. Probably, like I said, minor third, I guess, like, or minor third, like upper extension on it. I'm not a music theorist. Somebody can correct me. Right there on that side. You don't really notice it in the song, but I fucking love that. And then we got the octaves again. Let's go back. What are the other little, there's like all kinds of little production tricks here. Here's one. Second pre-chorus. You may not notice it, but there's a little, I took this delay and then I just kind of cranked it on a separate track. Yeah, I just cranked the saturation on it to just build. My name. Let's see, what else? What else did I forget about that I didn't put it? Oh, there's a little thing here before the pre-chorus. Forgot about this. There's a little. We know immoral for honor, inhuman or honest. Okay, there's a little synthesizer here that's called drone. In the second verse, you probably do hear it. Let's see. And then, you know, in the end of the first verse, I guess I'm going backwards. Again, sub 25. And there's a little like reversed piano here. Again, you would never know. And then we have this swell. And then there's this little, I don't remember even how I made this. I think I made this on my Korg Minilog XD. And yeah, it's just like a little, I don't even know what the hell you call it. It's just like a little like down speed thing, but it just gives it a little. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's pretty much the whole song. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for listening. My album's out now. Go stream it! Go! Go right now! I'm hungry.